If you look younger than your age, people may first assume it's a matter of luck, or good genes, or a special cream on the bathroom shelf. But aging, just like living, is not only skin deep, it's a reflection. What is reflected outward often has roots far beneath the surface. When you appear younger than your years, it's not simply because your body defied time. It may be that your being has aligned more closely with nature, more closely with rhythm, more closely with peace. This alignment is not something loud. It doesn't announce itself, but you feel it, and others sense it without needing an explanation. So what does it mean, this idea of alignment? It means that the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you act are not three separate currents moving in different directions. They are one river, flowing smoothly, and when you live this way, there is less resistance inside you, less inner conflict, less pulling between what you feel and what you pretend, and the body, always listening, responds to this. The body reflects your mind. It reflects your choices. It holds on to tension when your words don't match your thoughts. It tires quickly when you force yourself to live against your values. You may think your smile hides the stress, the fear, the resentment. But the body doesn't lie. It stores it quietly until it shows. But there is another way. If you look younger than your age, it might be because you've chosen that other way, even without realizing it. You've learned, maybe through difficulty, to let go of battles that aren't yours. You've learned to observe without always reacting. You've learned the art of breathing through discomfort instead of feeding it with more thought. Think about a time when you were truly at peace. Maybe you were sitting by a quiet lake, or walking alone through the trees, or simply drinking tea without any rush to be anywhere else. In that moment, what was your face doing? Was it tight? Was it full of effort? Or was it soft, still? Now imagine if you lived more moments like that, not in escape, but in practice. Not just once a year on vacation, but regularly in ordinary hours. That peace begins to shape you. The muscles of the face, the posture of the body, the light in your eyes. It stays. Many people age because of things they are not even aware they carry. Regrets, guilt, bitterness. Thoughts they've repeated so many times that the body has started to believe they are permanent. But when you begin to align, when your thoughts are honest, your words are kind, your actions follow your values, the body starts to relax. The cells repair differently, you sleep differently, you digest life more lightly. It is not magic. It is discipline. It is awareness. Looking youthful in this way is not about denying age. It is about accepting life so fully that it no longer burdens you. You walk into each day without dragging yesterday behind you. You breathe into this moment without bracing for the next storm. And that kind of living, clear, simple, awake, creates a different energy. That energy doesn't get erased by a number. People will ask you, what's your secret? And the truth is, you have none. You just stopped fighting with yourself. You just stopped wearing masks that didn't fit. You just stopped holding pain like a trophy. You started listening to your breath, to your body, to the silence between moments. And life began to respond in return. So if you look younger than your age, maybe it means that you're finally living in a way that doesn't age you. And that is something to be grateful for, not because it makes you better, but because it means you've begun to understand something deeper than appearances. Something real. Let that be enough. If you look younger than your age, it may not be because time has forgotten you, but because your mind has not left too many scars behind. The body is not just flesh and bone. It is memory. It remembers the thoughts you think, the emotions you feed, the pain you carry, and the stories you repeat to yourself over and over again. There is a very real connection between what happens inside of us and what shows up on the surface. Your skin is not just covering your face. It's holding years of tension, laughter, sadness, peace. Every expression repeated often enough becomes part of your identity, not just emotionally, but physically. You can see this in the deep lines of worry on someone's forehead, or in the gentle creases around the eyes of someone who's smiled their whole life. The body doesn't lie, it remembers everything the mind tries to bury. Many people walk through life believing that their thoughts are harmless, invisible things, but they are not. The moment you repeat a thought, especially one charged with emotion, your nervous system responds. Your breath changes, your heart rate shifts, the muscles in your face tighten. The mind leaves footprints on the body, and over time, those footprints become permanent paths. Now, when someone looks younger than their years, it might be because they haven't allowed their mind to carve deep wounds into their being. It doesn't mean life has been easy for them. Often, it's the opposite. But it means they've learned how to process those experiences without turning them into permanent tension. They've experienced pain, but they didn't turn it into identity. They felt anger, but they didn't wear it every day. They were betrayed, but they didn't build a home out of bitterness. Instead, they learned how to observe the mind without letting it dominate. They allowed themselves to feel what needed to be felt, but they didn't stay there. They moved through it. They released, they forgave, not always for others, but for themselves. Because they understood something many don't. What the mind holds onto, the body is forced to carry. And the body, it can only carry so much. Stress is not just a feeling, it's chemistry. Cortisol and adrenaline flood your system when you replay the same worries, the same arguments, the same regrets. Day after day, your cells feel that. Your skin feels that. Your immune system feels that. Slowly, the body wears down, not because of time, but because of tension. But when you practice releasing what is no longer needed, when you learn how to return to stillness after the storm, your body starts to trust you again. It stops bracing for danger. It starts to heal. And in that healing, youthfulness is not just preserved, it's expressed. You'll notice it in the way someone sits, the calm in their eyes, the softness in their face. Not because they've avoided pain, but because they didn't become pain. They didn't let life harden them, they remained open, gentle, aware. The mind didn't poison the body, it supported it. So, what do we do with this understanding? We begin to take responsibility not just for how we think, but for how long we think it, for how we process difficulty, for what we allow to linger. Because every thought, every emotion, every belief has a cost. And over the years, the body sends the bill. Some people pay with pain, fatigue, stiffness. Others pay with premature aging, restlessness, chronic disease. But a rare few, realize early that they can shift this. They choose not to pay that price. They sit with their pain and let it pass, rather than packing it away. They watch their thoughts without always believing them. They breathe through discomfort instead of reacting blindly to it. They become light not by escaping life, but by digesting it. If you look younger than your age, it might mean you've learned how to carry your story without letting it weigh you down. It means your mind may still experience the winds of emotion, but your roots are deep. You know how to come back to center. You know how to rest in stillness. And that kind of rest, the rest of a peaceful mind, is the greatest anti-aging force there is. The body listens to everything the mind says, so speak to yourself with care. If you look younger than your age, maybe it's not about the creams, the routines, or even the food. Maybe it's something simpler, something harder to measure. Maybe it means you've learned the value of presence, the quiet, clear awareness of this moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, just now. You see, youthfulness is often mistaken for something purely physical. A number, a look. But that's only the surface. The deeper truth is that real vitality, the kind that others notice without knowing why, comes from how fully you live the moment you're in. Most people are not truly present. Their bodies may be here, but their minds are running, always one step ahead or 10 steps behind. They're reliving past mistakes or rehearsing future fears. And the body, always listening, responds to this mental chaos. It tenses, it defends, it wears down. But when you are present, really present, the body feels it. There is a kind of rest that takes place even in motion. Your breath deepens, your muscles soften, your thoughts quiet down. That stillness, that clarity, has an effect on the entire system. It's not just emotional. It's biological. The heart rate stabilizes. Hormones rebalance. The nervous system calms. Your whole being shifts into harmony, even if just for a few seconds. Now imagine you live like this more often. Not just during meditation or walks in nature, but during conversation. During work, during moments of struggle, you return again and again to the now. You notice your breath. You notice the tone in your voice. You become aware of your posture, your thoughts, your energy. And by doing so, you return to yourself. It's not about being passive. Presence isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing with awareness. It's about being where you are, instead of always somewhere else in your mind. Most of the tension that ages people doesn't come from what's actually happening. It comes from their thoughts about what might happen, or what should have happened. That gap between reality and mental resistance is where exhaustion lives. But when you live close to the moment, without dragging the past and without chasing the future, the body stops aging ahead of schedule. It no longer braces for what hasn't come or mourns what's already gone. It simply is. And in that isness, there is peace. And in that peace, there is renewal. This is why children seem so radiant. It's not just their age. It's their presence. They aren't worried about how they'll be perceived or regretting what they said yesterday. They are fully immersed in the now. And that full engagement brings lightness. The body thrives on that lightness. Now, as adults, we can't go back to being children, but we can learn from them. We can practice presence in small, practical ways. Watching the breath for a few seconds. Pausing before we respond. Noticing the warmth of sunlight on our skin. Listening fully when someone speaks. These are simple things, but they accumulate. They build a relationship with the moment. And that relationship, over time, changes the way we carry ourselves. And people see that. They feel it. They might not know what it is, but they'll say you have a certain energy, a calmness, a clarity, a glow. They'll ask what you do. But it's not something you do. It's how you are. It's how you meet life, moment by moment, without trying to escape it or control it. That presence becomes your rhythm. And the body responds by softening, by healing, by reflecting that balance back into the world. So when someone looks younger than their age, it may be because they've learned to stop rushing. They've realized that the faster you try to live, the faster life slips through your fingers. But when you slow down, when you root yourself in presence, life opens, and so do you. You begin to see clearly. You begin to feel deeply. And that depth brings a light that no product can create. In the end, presence doesn't just make you look younger, it makes you more alive. And that aliveness is something no mirror can measure. But everyone can feel. To live fully is to age slowly, and presence is the path. If you look younger than your age, it doesn't mean you've stopped aging. Aging is part of life. It's written into our biology. Every day that passes adds a mark to the calendar, a beat to the heart, a shift in the body. But looking younger, and more importantly, feeling younger means that even though aging continues, you have not allowed yourself to decay. There is a difference. Decay is not time. It is a loss of vitality, a loss of curiosity, a loss of connection to your spirit. Time moves forward whether you resist it or not. But how you meet that time, that's where your power lies. You can either move with it or be dragged by it. Some people start to decay long before their bodies show it. They stop learning. They stop listening. They get stuck in patterns of thought, of speech, of behavior. They hold onto the same opinions, the same grudges, the same stories. And slowly, life stops flowing through them. They become closed. They stop participating in their own evolution. And the body senses this stagnation. It begins to slow. It begins to harden, not because of age, but because of resistance. But then there are others. They may be 50, 60, 70, but they are still alive in spirit. They are open, curious, flexible. Their minds are fresh, their hearts still willing to be surprised. They've stopped trying to protect themselves from life, and instead, they've chosen to meet it every day as it is. And this attitude doesn't just stay in the mind, it shows up in the body, in how they move, in how they breathe, in how they look at you. If you look younger than your age, maybe it means you've stopped resisting the natural unfolding of life. You've stopped clinging to what no longer serves you. You've stopped comparing your journey to someone else's. And you've realized that what truly keeps you young isn't chasing what's outside of you, but renewing what's inside of you. That renewal is a decision, a discipline, a quiet commitment you make every day to keep learning, to keep listening, to keep letting go. It's in the books you read, the silence you sit with, the emotions you process instead of store, the movement you give your body not to impress, but to honor it. So many people treat aging like a battle, something to fight, something to fix. But fighting time is a fight you never win. You end up exhausted, bitter, and disconnected. But when you shift your focus from resisting time to harmonizing with it, you begin to see a new path. A way of aging that brings wisdom, not weariness. A way of growing older that adds depth, not distance from life. The people who age gracefully, who carry both years and lightness, they aren't clinging to youth. They are connected to something deeper than appearance. They are grounded in purpose. They laugh more. They forgive faster. They don't waste energy on drama, on proving themselves, on needing to be right. That kind of wisdom preserves energy, and that preserved energy becomes vitality. It's important to understand that the body is your responsibility, but it's also your companion. It listens, it adapts, it changes based on how you treat it, not just with food and movement, but with your thoughts, your emotions, your inner dialogue. If every day you feed your body fear, anger, resentment, don't be surprised when it becomes heavy and tired. But if every day you offer it gratitude, attention, rest, challenge, it responds. It stays alert. It stays alive. So if you look younger than your age, maybe it's because you've realized the secret isn't in denying time, but in respecting it. It's in showing up for life with humility, with presence, with a willingness to grow. It's in saying yes to change, even when it's uncomfortable. It's in not letting your age define your energy, your joy, your capacity for wonder. You can't stop time, but you can stop resisting it. You can stop decaying from within. And when you do, something remarkable happens. Time begins to work with you, not against you. To age is natural, but to decay is a choice. Choose movement, choose growth, choose life.